Everyone, how are we all? I wasn't going to make this, but I need to get this off my chest. I need to speak about it. I need to do this. I've just seen Forest comfortably beat Arsenal in a game which led them safe in the Premier League. They can't get relegated. Congratulations to them. But what I saw from that team was exactly what we need to replicate in our last two games to keep in this league. By any means, they were not great going forward. They didn't create chances, and Arsenal had all the possession, but that did not matter. Because as a shape defensively, Forest were phenomenal. And the biggest telling for me was nerves, because there were none. All I saw from every player was tactical knowledge, calmness, and passion. I saw no nerves in those players. Every single one of them listened to the coach and did exactly what the coach required, and they won that game. They gave everything they could to win that game. Now, at home as well. Now I'm looking at us and how we have to do that without any doubt. 6 points. We need to win the next two football games to stay in this league. That's the goal. It's as simple as that. Do we want that? The Forest players wanted that today, and they did it because they really did want it against a team that didn't really have much to play for. Does that remind you of what we're doing tomorrow against a team that doesn't really have much to play for in the Premier League? Bar impressing the coach. They don't. All they've got to play for is pure, this is our last game of the season at home. Let's put a performance on. That's what they've got to play for. We've got to play for survival in the Premier League. This should mean more to us tomorrow. This should mean everything to this club and these players. This should mean absolutely everything and nothing less. If we want to stay in this league, I do not want to see individual mistakes, panicking, tiredness, and these traits that keep popping up. I want to see pure passion and pure intelligence. Every single player needs to listen to that coach. Do what the coach says. Win that game tomorrow, and then you go to Ellen Road on the last day of the season, needing 3 points against another team at that point who won't have a lot to play for, and another team who should not want this more than us at home to stay in the league at Ellen Road on the last day of the season. No team should want that more than us. If we lose any of these next two games, from a mentality perspective, it's because they wanted it more than us. If we see mistakes from players, which Forest didn't have today, they didn't even look like making mistakes. Everything they did was sensible. Every single player wanted that. And they didn't do it by being stupid or reckless or panicking. They did it by listening to the coach, issuing his instructions. Our players have to replicate that. There's no doubt about it. We need 6 points. We need to win our next two football matches. We have to do that. And everything that's happened this season, every single performance, every single result, doesn't matter right now. It's a 2-game season and there's 2 games left. You have to get 6 points. Do or die, that's it. You have to look at that game the Forest plays today and think, we can do that. Forest are not a great side. But they're a side that listens to their manager and sticks to their plan and does exactly what he says and doesn't panic, doesn't fail under the pressure of a crowd that is absolutely roaring them on. They use that crowd to push them. The defender was not making a mistake today. None of their defenders were making mistakes. They were doing everything right. They back-pocketed every player they were up against. Now, we have to do that, and it has to mean more to us than West Ham. We have to want that more than them. I'm looking at Morgan Gibbs-White. Great player. Every single moment of that game, he was running and running. His face, that was a player that really wanted that. Like, really. Not wanted it, he wanted that. He was going to die on that pitch. He wanted that more than anything. I need our players to want that. I need our players to want it more than anything. They have to want it more than anything, or it's done. Put us in a position to be at Ellen Road on the last day of the season, just needing to win a football match. that will really tell whether we want this or not. It really will. Because they should be looking at Forest today. There was no way they were losing against Arsenal. Arsenal had nothing. They held the ball. They did this. They didn't create anything dangerous. And we've got to have that mindset. We've got to listen to what that coach says, and every single one of these players has to play for the badge and play for themselves, play for the pride, achieve something in your career, keep this team in the Premier League. It's so simple, so difficult to do, but so simple. And it's so tough to think about what could happen if the players don't do that. Because if the players don't do that, they didn't want it enough. Because there's no way that Forest squad, that Bournemouth squad are better than us. They're not. They really wanted it, and they really listened to what their coach said. They perfected the instructions, and they played with freedom and joy, not with panic or anxiety. They played with freedom, joy, and passion. Remember that performance Rodrigo put in a few weeks ago? That was Gibbs White today. Endlessly for 90 minutes. I'm looking at players like Rodrigo. I'm looking at players like McKennie. I'm looking at players like Ayling. I'm looking at players that could really inject something into a game. Really inject a little bit of something. Push us through it. And I said McKennie because I think he can. I've seen him do it. The game where his mate was spouting off online, he came after that game and absolutely dominated that game. We need that guy the next 2 games. We need that guy. Don't care where he is next year. We need that guy. We need that Jack Harrison that's absolutely deadly. We need that Rodrigo that plays with his heart. Does everything he can in every single moment of the game. We need Patrick Bamford from the season we came up, that killer in front of goal. That's what we need. That's all Forest had today. They had one big chance and they buried it. Then after that, nothing from Arsenal. They tried, but it was never good enough. Never would be. Forest were just there, and they knew that they were going to win that game. They had belief in themselves. These players, that Leeds United players, now have to believe in themselves. They have to believe in each other. They have to believe in themselves. This is it now. You have to win 2 games of football. The biggest obstacle is the game tomorrow. Win that. And then everything we've worked on is in front of you at Ellen Road. That crowd at Ellen Road is going to be the best thing you'll ever hear in your career. Best believe. Do not let them down. Give that crowd an opportunity to absolutely go mental in every moment, every tackle, every 50-50 win, every shot we have, every corner we win. Give them an opportunity to cheer every single moment. Because they deserve that. And that is what we need to do if we want to stay in this league. Forget about everything. Do everything in your power to win that game. Win the next 2 games. Work for the next game first. And that last game of the season, ain't no telling what could happen. We have to beat West Ham. And if we don't deserve it. And that could mean the darkest thing, relegation, which we don't deserve to stay in the league if we don't beat West Ham. It's that simple. The league doesn't lie at the end of it. For whatever reason, for all the reasons we'll go through, if we don't beat West Ham, if we don't stay in this league, we didn't deserve to. And I don't want to see, and they will, if we don't beat West Ham, they have to go to Ellen Road with a crowd that does not believe. And they'll look all around and they'll give the claps and look all sad. Don't matter. We wanted you to give enough. And Forest proved today by beating second in the league that if you really want this, you can be enough. Because you have more to play for. And we have more to play for than West Ham and Tottenham. We should have more to play for. We should want more. We should want this more than them. They have other things. We should want this more than them. It's that simple. That's it. Do we? Making mistakes every 5 minutes and losing the ball in silly errors isn't wanting it more than them. Losing second balls and not being there on second balls, giving them big gaps to play, is not wanting it more than them. Forest proved that today. No mistakes. Everything was good. And they didn't play great attacking. They didn't need to. They did what they needed to do. And they were solid. Nothing was coming through that. And they fully deserve it. Fair play. Fair play. Let's replicate it, or it's done. Done if we don't. Play for that badge and play for pride and play for everything that anything. Play for anything you can think of. Any little thing. Even if it's a fan or a rival fan that told you weren't good enough and you saw it online, walked past you in the street. Anything. Play for that. Bring that to the front of your mind and do it for the fans in the stadium that give you nothing but 1,000% all year. Because they're the ones, as you've said in your posts, they're the ones that need this and you want to do this for. Don't give up now. Do it for them. Every little thing you can use to motivate you, do. Anything anyone's ever said to you, this is where you bring it out. And you're in this position right now as professional footballer because you went through that. People have told you all your career you're not good enough and you proved them wrong. Prove them wrong now. Because they've got a right to tell you that, given what position we're in. Prove them wrong. They'll be happily proven right. Because they just want that team to win. That's what we all want. And right now, this is what it is. It's do or die. It's Premier League or Championship. Everything we ever built to get up to this point again. Back down there. Restarting. And God knows what happens then. Let's cane this league. And then we know what could happen in the summer. We know what might happen in the summer if we stay in this league. We know what could happen. And we know the prizes we could get if we stay in this league. We know. We have no idea what could happen once we go down. We do not want that. No one wants that. You don't want that. I don't want that. The players don't want that. Live for anything you can feel. Look at every single person in that crowd, not everyone. Look at all the people in that crowd and say, yeah, we're doing it for you lot. Then look at yourself and say, we're doing it for us as well. Look at each other. That's all it is. So we need this. This is vital. There's nothing more to say. This is vital. This is everything. This is anything right now in this moment in terms of football. This is anything. This is everything. Got to be done. Complete the task. Win 2 games of football. Go your holidays. So I will. You do anything in your career. Leeds fans that have been there all year through all this horrible results. Leeds fans have been there in the stadium every single game, doing nothing but support you. No matter how bad a chance we miss, no matter how big a mistake we make, no matter how bad a pass is, they will support you. Give them that in the last 2 games. Give them anything you can. That's all I've got to say. Let me know what you guys think. I had to do this. I had to get this off my chest. I don't know. I'm done predicting. I'm done thinking what could happen. Let's just see if they really got it in them to deliver what we need, what they need, what the club needs. I appreciate the support. We're all in this together, aren't we? Yeah. I know what you guys